Welcome to Lan Guifang. This is the drinking capital of Hong Kong. Down this street is where all the party happens. And today, I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest, because we are covering one of my favorite restaurants in Hong Kong. This is Big JJ Seafood Hot Pot Restaurant. The kitchen has started prepping, so let's go see what's happening inside. So this is the prep kitchen in the back. They have a little bit of deep frying that they're going to do. Hot pot is all about the prep, doing the prep right now. The soups are over here, beef is over here. Chef 想睇一啲湯咧，你可唔可以鉗一鉗俾我睇？
冇問題啊！呢個就豬骨湯，咁入面豬骨啦、豬腳啦，同埋有少係上面個豬骨又喺底嘅，然之後就有啲豬扒咁樣，就呢三種嘢就一齊煲嘅。
之後蜆就最啱尾先落。
蜆就最嬲尾先落嘅，就溝埋一齊嘅啫。OK， 左邊有湯。呢個雞湯嚟嘅，咁就雞殼啦，有雞扒啦，就咁落去嘅。
得，好，唔好阻住人做嘢。Let's go out. This is the prep kitchen. So chef here is taking care of all of this beef. 可唔可以其實簡單啲解釋下唔同嘅部位？
唔同部位咁啊，今日比較特別啲嘅4個位啦。咁啊有個牛背啦，今日會有牛背偏瘦啲嘅。另外第二個風門牛會實淨少少。第三個叫腩包，腩包會小紋理比較清楚啲嘅，但係少少肥嘅。咁啊最後正制都好靚嘅，咁啊見到有啲好傳統嘅雪花啦。咁啊食落去油脂會豐富啲。
One thing to keep in mind is that Western butchery and Eastern butchery is a little bit different. Something that might look like a strip loin or might be served as a strip loin is actually butchered in a different way for different textures. And at the end of the day, what hot pot is a very quick cook of beef to lock in that flavor and lock in that texture. And as a result, the names are unique to Cantonese hot pot. So the beef that's featured at this restaurant are from neutered oxen. Neutered oxen tend to produce a little bit less testosterone, which means a more even marbling of the fat throughout the cow. Actually, chef is doing kind of an interesting technique here. He's butterflying each slice of beef to make it slightly larger. The first cut doesn't go all the way through. The second cut does take it all the way through to create slices that are double in size, easier for chopsticks to grasp as it goes inside of the hot broth. One of the core components of hot pot are the balls, the beef balls, the fish balls, and in this case, chef is making a fish and lamb ball. The combination of the fish and lamb make for a pretty umami, pretty savory, delicious ball. The idea for this ball is texture. So for that texture, you want that beef ball to be bouncy, and that bounciness comes from developing the myosin, and when he's slapping it together, he's extending those protein strands, which will trap air within the ball, making it nice and bouncy and light. Once chef has achieved the texture that he's looking for, he's just gonna let it chill, let it rest, and serve it to the customers whenever it's been ordered. By the way, hot pot is a social activity. You don't come to this place alone. You don't really do hot pot alone, especially not at Big JJ. The key is that you're gathering around the table, you're drinking a bunch, you're eating a bunch, you're sharing, you're cooking for each other. That's what the spirit of hot pot is. Let's just put some things down before our friends arrive. First is the pork bone soup that we saw earlier. Yellow beef, castrated. Let's just try the hanger tender, the fish and lamb that we saw earlier. Okay, so here's the soup. Take a look. Celery, clams, pork knuckle, and pork bone. What makes Cantonese hot pot distinguished is the clarity and the delicacy of that broth. Here, the flavor of the broth is worth drinking alone. So the first step is to actually taste some of that broth. Bathing. I hate using non-Chinese references to explain food, but the closest reference for a white soup that most people know is tonkotsu. The thing about tonkotsu is the key is emulsification. And emulsification is when things like fat and water don't mix together. When they are mixed together, you get a milky white broth like so, which is to say that the fattiness of the oils leaking from pork, the clams, so on and so forth, get mixed in thoroughly, homogenized with the liquid itself. Once most of this bone has been removed, there's some of this marrow here that you can definitely eat. I'm going to save it for all of our friends that are joining us. Before that happens, I think it's probably important for us to make the seasoning. Yeah. Sesame oil, cha-cha sauce, chili oil, fried garlic, black vinegar, cooked garlic, puree, scallions, red chilies, cilantro, and soy sauce. The thing with soy sauce is that a lot of people assume that the word sauce means that this is ready to go out of the bottle, but soy sauce, as it's done properly, requires a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of balance. Now, here is the basis for everybody who doesn't know how to put together their own condiments and their sauce. In Cantonese hot pot, I believe that the base of that flavor should be two things, sacha and soy sauce. I'm sure that people are going to tell me that I'm wrong, but those are the first two things that I add. First is this sacha. So sacha is actually a cooked condiment made of dried grill, shrimp, oil, aromatics, that sort of thing. Popularized mostly in Taiwan, but technically it's part of like Fujianese Minnan. So that goes on the bottom. I'm putting about a tablespoon. And then soy sauce. These two, for me, are the bases. Sesame oil, a little bit of chili oil, fried garlic, a little bit of that cooked garlic, puree, scallions, chili, cilantro. A little bit of broth just to bring the flavors together and get the party started. Mix it all up. Service has begun, which means that we need to eat because they're going to kick us out at 8 o'clock. So, friends, stupid to eat hot pot alone. I said it's a social activity, so we're going to eat. What? Yeah.
訂咗嘅時光。
Oh. Chris 老闆
Hello，你好。咁啊，講一講先啦。咁我哋今日4個位置啊。咁啊，最瘦到最肥個牛杯咁啊呢個風門牛咯。咁啊呢個我哋牛腩外，我哋嘅腩包咁啊一份頸脊嚟嘅，中間 cut 嚟嘅。咁啊脂肪會比較平均少少嘅。
幾味冇咁得喎。
幾面
medium rare。
medium rare 係咁樣帶粉紅就 OK 啦。
OK，
好邊位先？試下先。第一發可以試下，唔使點嘢住。
靚女先。
試下原味先。
最 senior 嗰個。
好，咁我哋加淡嘅湯落去。
好
，OK， 慢慢。
好，唔該你。This is the local beef. This is the globe. They call it Wakan. So this is like the global beef. Yeah. This is the stuff that has to be sourced from outside. First, usually, is the beef because that's the main character. That's the main thing we're here to eat. And then after that, you would go through your seafoods, maybe your chickens or lambs, and the vegetables oftentimes at the end. The reason is because this broth is going to get more and more flavorful. As it gets more and more flavorful, that's when the vegetables come in to soak up all of that extra protein that you've donated to the broth. There are a couple of things that need a little bit more time to cook, such as this chicken. We're going to throw that in early so that it can cook while the rest of the things, while we work through the rest of the beef.
喂，你咪飲酒
啊，係啊，飲酒啊。
你嚟㗎？
係
你嚟
light body 啲。
light body 啲，咁如果你哋要 light body 啲，梗係試下我哋嗰支啦。呢個 Q V 啲辣光 GQ 啊，呢個 Q V 辣光 GQ。OK， 咁一支咧純天嘅話比較易 approach。
OK，
係啦，即刻會
perfect。OK， 就呢支啦。
哦 ，Q V 辣光 GQ。OK。我哋見過你啊，好似未見過你先。
佢嚟過啦，幾時？
係咪見過啦？哦，而家記得啦，而家記得。
Second last thing， 整一啲魚先。These are the 3 balls. They come in a size like this. That doesn't mean that you have to cook the whole thing at once. They'll give you a spoon. You just want to portion them out into the size that you want. To be honest with you, the first time I came here, came with a bunch of chefs, and they were just making fun of my stupid canals.
係啊，你係西嘅，我哋嗰啲中嘅咧就生菜魚肉咁樣滗落去嘅，我哋就係
示範下，老闆示範。
嚟啊！西餐嗰啲廚師就好似你嗰啲咁，咁我哋嗰個就係咁樣就 OK。落埋羊好嘛？
好，整晒啦。
整晒佢。
Cook it until it floats and then let it sit for a little bit. When you mix that meat a lot, the myosin is released, which means that it's going to be tender even if you cook it for a little bit longer. All of these balls, especially this, it's pretty hard to overcook, so you have a little bit of a window. 生生地. When you're having hot pot, it's rude not to feed your friends. It's a social activity, so make sure that everybody is as well fed and as well drank. Everybody's drinking and eating the same as you. Thank you.
所以一樣會識食得。
ชมแบบตรงนี้นะ
We're standing outside of Big JJ. My meal is done, but the party is still going on. This is seriously one of my favorite restaurants in Hong Kong because the beef is so good. It's special, it's a local breed, they're getting slaughtered every day and it's served so fresh. The second reason is the broth is good, the technique is good, the cooking is there. And as they were setting it all up, letting that soup simmer, it was a calm before the storm. But now is the storm. The vibe is still going. It's a very special restaurant. It's made by Hong Kong people, for Hong Kong people. And I really think this is what we need more of in my favorite place in the world, Hong Kong. There's more food to eat. On to the next.